version provided with Huden here, which I think translates to giant army in the super English tongue? Question mark? Victor, help me out here. What do these words mean? This was played by request for the Hullenberger community, and, well, I asked for a unique sound, and I sure as fluff got it. Now, I checked and double-checked the lyrics, origin, and meaning of this song just to make double extra super sure because, well, Germany at the dawn of the 1900s. You know how they got? But no, this is actually well before the Second World War, having its origins in the First. The meaning of the song revolves around the pointlessness of war, how many of them will never return home, and how there is no winning the conflict that they have found themselves hopelessly mired in. I am pretty sure that there is no further alternative meaning beyond lamenting where all roads end.
That's a mood, Gabriella.
It's kind of ironic in a way. German military inventions have been, far and away, the very best at ending human life. I mean, some of them persist in the Super Earth arsenal today, such as the venerable MG-43, and yet they have been on the receiving end of more beatings than anyone else that I can think of. Funny how that all worked out, huh? I'm sure that it's just a weird fact of life that a certain evil doctor lurking out there in the dark appreciates. Speaking of weird facts of life, I first heard this song being broadcasted from somewhere within the southern frontier, but as far as I know, there is little out there anymore except zombies. We've been trying to sweep and clear the Volus away with runic power, but the process is slow going. I'm not really sure if this is someone who is trying to broadcast an SOS, a cry for help, or maybe somebody figured out a way to live out there in such a horrible, hostile area, despite the overwhelming, nauseating amounts of Lovecraftian zombies trudging around. Who can really say? But hey, that's enough idle musing from me. You're not here for that. You're here for the morning news. The battle for Mastio was won by mere minutes last night, with Helldivers intercepting the final wave of reinforcements for the badly mauled Illuminate raiding fleet. Their numbers were completely routed and the voteless disconnected from the Order's control. The major order was declared a massive success, with the Ministry of Science issuing special thanks to the Helldiver Corps before beginning their work on dissecting voteless craniums. Fenrir 3 reports only minor damage, and Pilin 5 shows a clean bill of health with the anti-gravity generators being virtually untouched. No problems here. However, the fight for Veld is reported to be very close. The DSS is on station currently offering logistical support, but this is going to be yet another fight that is going to be won by mere minutes. There is further bad news on the horizon because the Automatons have apparently noticed the pitched battles happening on their doorstep and have opted to come out and investigate who is making all this gosh darn noise. That's just great. They have commenced an invasion on Gaellivare, a jungle world named for Super Earth President Pilasted's hometown, and already the jungle-fighting veterans of Malevelon Creek are plying their merry trade and spilling more oil than the Geth Corps at a beach party working on their tan. Now here's something that irritated me just a little bit. Recently, Gunvald passed the next phase of their referendum, deciding on an immigration policy and the citizenship rights that new arrivals would have. The choices listed on screen ranged between second-class citizenship, corporate neo-serfdom, which would have had my furry foot broken off in someone's posterior if they picked that, limited citizenship, and full citizenship. I'm sure that you can imagine my outright horror when I found out that for a time neo-serfdom was in danger of winning the vote. But in the end, limited citizenship won out with 53%. I did end up voting for that as well, but mostly just to prevent the other options from taking hold, which did not sound like appetizing menu choices. Forgive me, but Helldivers fight for liberty and freedom, or so we claim, yet every single time something like this comes up, it feels like humankind leads towards darkness. It's exhausting. But I will be pushing from within Dunvald's government to change this. I mean, this is not a hard quiz. If the Automatons invade Gunvald, liberty forbid, are immigrants and migrants going to fight less hard than anyone else for their homes and their lives and their families? During times of peace, is our labor suspect and our works found wanting? I personally don't think so, and really, unless you were born on Super Earth like George Truly, we are all migrants. This is really just especially degrading because the lack of ability to vote and shape society is one of the conditions that my people were fleeing from in the interior sectors. Regardless of your interest on politics, it's a matter of time before politics takes an interest in you, and not having so much of a voice does set up for some fairly dangerous conditions for minority groups. Fortunately, Gunvald seems to be more concerned with peacekeeping operations centered on the planet Krakapos, which does border Legion Diver territory, if not lying within their current borders. Apparently, there is a dispute there between the Holy Crusading forces of the Vertex Divers and the Nadir Divers, who... This is one of the few groups of the Liberation Fleet that I am not familiar with. Some have been suggesting that I am behind this in some way, and with most other operations within the greater cosmos, you might be right, but not this time. I actually didn't have anything to do with this, so whatever beef is between the Vertex and the Nadir, I do hope that they could work it out like civilized super gentlemen. In other news, the Special Forces Demon Corps has staged something of a coup and, defenestrated their command staff. What does that even mean? They have rebranded themselves as Jets Angels. Not really related to my Seraphim, but I'm sure that they would help out with a military campaign or a humanitarian effort if I asked them nicely. Not gonna lie though, that new logo looks fluffing sick. And lastly, we have new stock prices to round out the morning news with the Merc Divers showing yet another 3% gain. The Mercs have been eating good as of late. The Key Filling Corporation saw a loss of 4%, which is somewhat painful, but Gunvald has been doing very well with a bump of 6% for the week. You're doing great, guys. But Tank Hunters continue their slow decline with another loss of 4%, and Blackwall IT Solutions shows no movement on the boards whatsoever. Future Foundation suffered a loss of about 3%, but Anvil Industries continues its climb towards greatness with a 4% rise. Venture Company really should just be removed from these boards, as they have already declared bankruptcy and factional elimination, and its stock price lists so much red that it's like some sort of weird Viridian-worshipping cult sacrificed a goat on their portfolio. You might laugh, but the Freedom Alliance had to deal with some of those whack jobs last fall. Speaking of the Freedom Alliance, I hear those Paragons of Virtue are working on something. Get excited, Helldivers. That's been Liberty's Latest with me, Pandora the Radio Angel. We're due for a new major order sometime today or possibly tomorrow, because High Command does like to give us weekend homework. What's it going to be? Trimming back the Predator strain, or are we slapping the Automatons around? Fingers on buzzers, who's feeling lucky? Who wants to get slapped around by Super Earth today? Well, a new order's just crossed my desk, so I'll be answering that question with a follow-up broadcast right after this one, just as soon as Mercy decrypts the Ministry of Truth communications packets. For liberty, for freedom, for democracy, and for the Angelic Rebellion. Viva la Revolution Angelique.